Did you enjoy your meal? Yes. They gave you black-tie people a box lunch or something, didn't they? I hope. Now, I should mention that due to the recent government shutdown, none of the food tonight was inspected.
Let me tell you. Let me just say who that was. Stephen Colbert at the Alfred E. Smith dinner, which is a huge dinner in New York, run by the Catholic Church to raise money for needy children. It's a bipartisan affair. Democrats, Republicans get together for a good cause.
But let me tell you, the bill that he points out when he talks about the lack of food inspectors. Guess who passed the bill to fully fund inspection of food and all pharmaceuticals? The Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives just a few days ago. But who would not take it up? Harry Reid in the Senate. I mean, it's true. It's true.
But that was, you were doing gamesmanship at the time. It was
gamesmanship to fund food inspectors.
Because you were trying to just do little piecemeal things.
And also we did the big one too.
And you were going to leave out. We were going to fund the IRS. Were you going to fund the Department of Health? Were you going to fund the Department of Health?
If he gave us the time, we were going to fund them all.
All right, let's move forward. Because in the same spirit that at the Alfred E. Smith dinner, Democrats and Republicans come together, can Democrats and Republicans in Congress come together on different issues? Let's talk about immigration. You know, because I think there is a chance on the budget. We'll wait and see. I think the Farm Bill does have a good chance of passing. Look, what's happening you were talking about the farmers in South Dakota, you know, the need across this country. I think it's great. Hopefully they can work out.
And farmers in South Dakota is important because we get our cattle, you know, a lot. So I'm not thinking I'm a member of Congress from South Dakota, but a lot of our food stuff comes from somewhere. But everybody's suffering.
Like everyone. So now, but immigration reform, you know. Do you think it's possible?
It is. First of all, congratulations and hats off to Mario Diaz-Balart, who's been doing an incredible job. Not now. He's been in these negotiations for years to try to get a package.
He was sort of a secret gang of 8 that was sort of working quiet.
Right. And they've got it, and you know, they're waiting for the right time to bring it about. Every time there seems to be another crisis, Jim, the legislative process is getting to be like whack-a-mole in a carnival game. Syria was a crisis. That took up 2 weeks of the political oxygen. Then we had this budget thing, and now we've got December, January, and February deadlines related to the economy. So when is it going to be a good time? There surely we have to have some space to bring these bills up. Remember that John Boehner said from the very first, we're not going to take up the Senate passed bill that Marco Rubio and Bob Menendez and others worked on. We're going to do individual bills, let the House work its will, and then what we hope is whatever passes, any of these individual bills, get into conference, and we hope then to get the kind of immigration bill that can help all of these folks become legal and have that pathway to citizenship.
I want to talk to you about one of your fellow Cubans in Congress, Ted Cruz. What do you think of Ted Cruz and the way he has just sort of, you know, announced himself on the scene? You don't usually hear a lot from freshman senators the way you do from Ted Cruz.
Well, I think he's unafraid of the D.C. establishment, and I say hats off to him for that. He's got his own unique way of showing how independent he is of that establishment. Maybe people dislike him a lot because they embarrassed us, or he embarrassed because maybe we weren't as tough as Ted Cruz, or we didn't give as wonderful a speech as he did. But I think anybody who goes against the grain, stands up for what he believes in, whether left or right, I say hats off to him. Maybe I agree with him, or maybe I don't. Well, I hope that he does not get too involved in bringing down his fellow Republican senators. You know, I think that's when you get a little bit off the reservation. He's got his own Republican senator in Texas, and he says he's not willing to endorse him. Then it gets political. You're not talking about
just as a little background, there's a group called the Senate Conservatives Fund that he's been doing commercials for and raising money for. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and what sort of alienated him from some people is that he's used that to run commercials and advertisements against Senate Republicans, and he also said he's willing to do it against House Republicans if they break from the fold as well.
I fully believe that I would be one of those who they will come after. That's okay. Like I say, they're not burning buildings. They're not burning your car. They're not burning mine.
But are they doing the brand damage? Are they hurting the Republican brand?
This is democracy. Look, we all have to make our case before the public. And I'm one of those down the middle kind of folks. Some folks like me for this conservative view, some folks like me for this moderate view. You never know why people are going to vote for you or against you, but I have the responsibility to tell my constituents what I think, why I voted that way. But hats off to all of those groups. I don't like it personally that they're going to go against our gang, but they're doing it within the democratic principles and based on what they stand for. They're not causing damage to the democracy. They're participants, and there's no problem with that. I
meant to ask you, I made reference to it in the opening of the show, and I meant to ask you about it. How did you get selected to be in the speaker's chair? Well, up at top for the vote on opening up the government and raising the deficit. You had a great seat for history there.
I know. It was wonderful. I thank Speaker Boehner, who they're also trying to defeat, too, because they call him a rhino. Here's another guy who, Republican in name only, who can't win from either side. But he chose me to preside over that historic vote, and I'm glad for it. I think John Boehner is a reasonable guy. He's a smart guy. He's practical. He knows what can be done and what cannot be done. He, like we were there for the shutdown previously with Bill Clinton and Newt Gingrich. We went through it, and he, of course, he's got a powerful voice, more powerful than mine. But we both said, this isn't going to end well, guys. But we're willing to do it with you. But this is not the president, whoever he is gonna outshine us.
Do you think Ted Cruz led the Republicans, as particularly those in the House, by whipping them up into this? I keep referring to it as a box canyon where you were going to get gunned down.
Well, it was the Tortilla Coast basement is now.
You weren't there, were you?
I was not invited. Hats off to them. May they continue to fight for the principles they believe in, just like Harry Reid is doing it, and just like every member is. They're not doing it to cause damage. They believe in their cause, and hats off to them. I have nothing but pride for every American who wants to change our society in a democratic way. What's wrong with that?
Ronald Reagan's, what is it, the 11th commandment?
The 11th commandment.
Thou shalt not speak bad against Republicans.
But let me tell you, when Ronald Reagan said that 11th commandment, he was the president during a lot of government shutdowns. So we've all been there.
I don't think there'll be any more government shutdowns. Let's hope not.
I don't think so.
Right.
May that Holy Spirit that stenographer was talking about guide us and not have any more shutdowns.
Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen, always
Jim
a pleasure
Defede.
to have you
Thank
come
you.
in. All right. Now, up next, should we be drug testing athletes for steroids?